Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. Transfer Daily Show, as always, as we do keep you up to date on this channel every single day, giving you the latest news of what players of course are linked with a move to Manchester United. Obviously, Liverpool winning the Champions League, beating Tottenham in the final by 2 goals to nil yesterday evening. Obviously, goals from Mohamed Salah from the spot and goals from Dico Origi was enough, to secure Liverpool their 6th Champions League, of course. So anyway, let's cut straight to the chase about the latest current transfer rumours. So the first topic of the development I'm going to give you an update on is in regards to Paul Pogba. Now, we do know Paul Pogba has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation, and it has been looking very imminent that he's set to leave Manchester United. And I think from Paul Pogba's own perspective, he's destined to make the move to Real Madrid. But like I did say, based on the huge transfer fee that we have put on Paul Pogba, this could be the stumbling block of Paul Pogba, making his supposed move to Real Madrid, because obviously, an initial fee has not yet, come to an agreement. Even though it did come out, was it about 3 or 4 days ago, basically, saying that, Paul Pogba to Real Madrid is practically done. It did say, Paul Pogba had agreed a massive pay cut, so it did say his salary is set to reduce from 13 million to 10 million pounds a year, so his wages is set to drop by around 3 million pounds. But obviously, the initial fee has not yet, come to an agreement. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane has obviously instructed his Real Madrid board, to prioritise a transfer for Paul Pogba, because obviously, Zinedine Zidane wants to link Paul Pogba with Casemiro, of course, in his Real Madrid midfield. So we do know Zinedine Zidane has got a lot of targets on his agenda, of course. But obviously, his 2 main targets, of course, are Paul Pogba and Chelsea's Eden Hazard. I think Eden Hazard to Real Madrid is set to be finalised sometime next week, because I think it does say in the media that Real Madrid and Chelsea have come to an agreement on a £115 million fee. So I think that's set to be finalised next week. So obviously now Real Madrid are going to focus on getting a deal over the line for Paul Pogba, but they have got a lot of players on their agenda. But we do know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is working on trying to keep his imperative players at the football club, and obviously one of them imperative players is Paul Pogba. Obviously as well, he's working on trying to bring the right players to Manchester United who he thinks are going to be good enough to represent Manchester United. But initially, we want around £160 million for Paul Pogba. Like I said, I think the fee is going to be the stumbling block in this, and reportedly this is a figure that Real Madrid are reluctant, to currently meet. Obviously, it came out the other week saying that Solskjaer was willing to offer Paul Pogba the captaincy, in a bid to convince him to stay at the club. Obviously, he's got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United as Paul Pogba. Obviously, we paid £89 million for him back in 2016. Obviously, our most expensive signing. Like I said, it's not always about, getting them Galactico players. It's not all about, spending big on players, because it doesn't always guarantee you success. And obviously, we do know we've got a history of spending big on players, especially in recent years, and it hasn't got us in that position, of course, where we should currently be. So that's just basically a prime example there. We spent big in the recent years, 75 million on Lukaku. It initially risen up to 90 million pounds with several add-ons included, and obviously, 89 million pounds for Paul Pogba. But Paul Pogba hasn't really exceeded expectations. He hasn't really been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been, obviously, because he did have 4 good years in Turin with Juventus, but he hasn't really replicated this at Manchester United, of course. And obviously, we do know his agent Raiola, at least in the last 5 or 6 weeks, has been in the process of securing his move to Real Madrid, of course. So I think Paul Pogba definitely still wants to leave Manchester United. Maybe the couple of main factor reasons why he wants to leave. Maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players. Maybe wants to be playing amongst better players. Maybe wants to be in Champions League football. Wants to be competing. Wants to be winning trophies. And obviously, Manchester United cannot offer Paul Pogba on this. Like I said with Paul Pogba, we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager in that 3-month period. That's when we saw the best of Paul Pogba, because he was in scintillating form, and Paul Pogba was mainly playing well when Ander Herrera was in that midfield playing, because obviously Ander Herrera, used to free up Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba was expressing himself, he was scoring goals, he was providing. So that just emphasises there how much of an impact Ander Herrera, of course, made in that midfield. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still knows how much of an essential player Paul Pogba is. Obviously, he recently said as well that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Paul Pogba's relationship is slowly fading. There have still been reports coming out saying that his former club Juventus are interested in re-signing him. Obviously, last year Paul Pogba was linked to a move away from the club, you know, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, last year he was linked to his former club Juventus. He was also linked with a move to Barcelona. But Paul Pogba's still got a hell of a lot of development in him. You know, he's only 26 years of age, so basically, you know, Paul Pogba is still in his prime. But yeah, Real Madrid are keen on getting a deal over the line for him. But obviously, like I said, an initial fee has not yet come to an agreement. So I think now Real Madrid have come up with a plan. It does say now, according to the Metro, Real Madrid are willing to offer up to 3 players, you know, to lure Paul Pogba away from Manchester United. Because I don't think Real Madrid are confident, you know, they can get Paul Pogba without, you know, offering any of their players as part of the deal. So they're not keen on a straight cash payment. So I think the 3 players that have been mentioned, you know, that Real Madrid, you know, could offer is obviously, you know, the most obvious one is obviously, you know, Gareth Bale. Obviously, you know, James Rodriguez has been mentioned. Keylor Navas has also been mentioned. With the Gareth Bale one now, I would like to see Gareth Bale as part of the deal with Paul Pogba. We do know the rumours have continued to persist, you know, linking Gareth Bale with a move to Manchester United since, like, 2013. So basically, he's been linked with Manchester United, you know, since the David Moyes era. You know, I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United now. Maybe if you'd asked me a couple of years ago, you know, I would have took Gareth Bale at Manchester United. But, you know, I don't want Gareth Bale, even though it's looking very imminent. He is going to be leaving Real Madrid, even though from Gareth Bale's perspective, he doesn't want to leave Real Madrid, because I think he's actually, you know, intending on spending the rest of his playing career with Real Madrid, is Gareth Bale. So basically, he doesn't want to leave Real Madrid. But obviously, you know, Zinedine Zidane has confirmed that Gareth Bale is no longer in his plans at Real Madrid. And obviously, you know, Zinedine Zidane declared that Gareth Bale has no future at Real Madrid. So obviously, you know, Zinedine Zidane, you know, wants to sanction him off. Obviously, you know, Real Madrid are going to find it difficult getting rid of him permanently, you know, based on his substantial wages. Because I think it's on about, is it 600 grand a week, you know, that Gareth Bale is on. Plus, he's very injury prone. This is another reason why I wouldn't want him at Manchester United. And plus, he is nearly 30 years of age, and of course, Gareth Bale is aging up. I think he has made 231 appearances for Real Madrid in all competitions. I think he's won about 13 major honours as Bale. You know, you can put him on the left. You know, I think you can also, you know, put Bale on the right. And obviously, you know, that wing position is one of the areas Manchester United are lacking. But I just wouldn't want to, you know, to see Bale come in. You know, he's on the decline. He's too injury prone, like I said. And don't get me wrong, he was very, very good during his Tottenham days, because he did have 6 good years with Tottenham. You know, did Gareth Bale. You know, so he's had, you know, he had a lot of experience under his belt and playing in the Premier League and all that. So there were talks a couple of weeks ago saying that, you know, he could make a return back to Tottenham. You know, Tottenham could get him on loan, of course. But I wouldn't like to see Bale as part of the deal with Paul Pogba. So that's one of the players I wouldn't want to see come in to Manchester United. And he's still got 3 years left on his contract as Gareth Bale. Initially, you know, Real Madrid, in terms of the transfer fees and all that, you know, Real Madrid, you know, wouldn't recoup the initial £85 million paid for him from Tottenham. Maybe they could get maybe around 50 or 55 million, but they wouldn't recoup the initial £85 million that they did currently pay for him, because he has been inconsistent in his last couple of seasons with Real Madrid. So like I said, also that's been mentioned as well, who Real Madrid, you know, could offer to Manchester United to lure Paul Pogba away, is James Rodriguez. Now, James Rodriguez, I think, is on loan with Bayern Munich at the moment. Well, initially signed for Bayern Munich back in 2017. Well, he initially signed for Bayern Munich on a 2-year loan spell, of course. I think his 2-year loan spell with Bayern Munich is now coming to an end. James Rodriguez is 27 years of age. I think he's actually, you know, nearly 28 years of age now. He's James Rodriguez. I think he's primarily an attacking midfielder, but you can also put him as a winner. I don't think he's a bad player, you know, James Rodriguez. His passing's really, really good. His vision's very, very good. His stability's very, very good as well. Haven't really watched James Rodriguez, you know, quite lately. I know he's a Colombian and all that. I think the other teams he's been at, obviously, he joined Real Madrid, I think, back in 2014. He's also, you know, played for Monaco. He's also, you know, played for Porto, where was James Rodriguez. So he's also, you know, been mentioned who Real Madrid, you know, could offer. Also, you know, Keylor Navas has also, you know, been mentioned as well. So yeah, there has been quite a few names mentioned who Real Madrid, you know, could offer Manchester United, you know, to lure Paul Pogba away from Old Trafford. But, you know, this is what reportedly says in the Metro as well. So that is the latest news to update you on that. But like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club this summer. He's getting a spending speed of around £250 million. Like I said, I think that should be enough to get us around at least 5 players, because I do believe we need at least 5 players. You know, we are expected to orchestrate a big summer cloud. I probably believe it probably around at least 3 or 4 players are going to leave Manchester United this summer. Another problem with Manchester United, we have let far too many players' contracts run down, and obviously, that's been another issue because Rashford's in the final year of his deal. It's looking like that Juan Mata's going to be leaving the club because he's coming to end of his contract. Obviously, as well, De Gea's in the final year of his deal. With Lander Herrera going on a free transfer as well. That was bad business for Manchester United. So we have let far too many players' contracts run down. But obviously, as you all know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's worked out his transfer strategy for this summer. He wants to recommend a number of young players to come in, so he's not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. But Solskjaer said he wants to bring at least 5 players in. He obviously wants to full areas where he thinks Manchester United, of course, are lacking. But he still believes we can attract players to the highest level, even though we can't offer Champions League football for next season. So obviously this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes. I do believe we need a structural change at the club, and that's obviously getting a director of football in. That's very, very essential. We want to get a director of football in before the start of next season. Obviously, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to need backing this summer. And there has been quite a few candidate names mentioned, but it would be ideal to recommend someone who knows the culture of the club and someone who of course has got the experience. But yeah, I think as I give you my update yesterday about Thomas Meunier from PSG, it's looking very imminent now. He's going to be coming to Manchester United, which is very, very good news, because I think, we're keen on bringing an experienced full-back in, and I think, Thomas Meunier is the right solution. It did come out yesterday saying that Thomas Meunier is set to join Manchester United in a £22 million deal, reportedly, so that is a reasonable figure. I think we've actually now prioritised Thomas Meunier over Crystal Palace's Wan-Bissaka, because obviously Wan-Bissaka is a right-back, and obviously he's been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. But looking at it from a financial point of view, Thomas Meunier is a much cheaper alternative than Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, he's more experienced than Wan-Bissaka, because I think Crystal Palace are demanding that they want around £60 million for Wan-Bissaka. I don't think Manchester United are willing to pay that, and we can get Thomas Meunier for around £22 million. I think from Thomas Meunier's perspective, he does want to make the move to Manchester United, because it did actually get revealed saying that he has been a Manchester United fan since he was a child. But it did also say that Arsenal were in there for Thomas Meunier, because maybe Umar was keen on reuniting with the player, because actually Thomas Meunier found himself as more of a regular starter when Umar was the PSG manager. But since Umar departed, Thomas Meunier has been surplus to requirements. Thomas Meunier, like I said, he's 27 years of age, so he's highly experienced. He's only got a year left on his deal with PSG. He's actually predominantly a right back, but he can play in other positions, which is very, very beneficial. He can score goals, he can provide. I think he's made about 100. I think he's just made over 100 appearances, for PSG, because he has been there over 3 years, of course. But it did say yesterday Manchester United, were in negotiations with Paris Saint-Germain over the potential move for Thomas Meunier. So yeah, looking very, very imminent indeed. That should be fully finalised sometime next week. So he's set to join Manchester United in a deal worth around £22 million. Well, initially it did say PSG, wanted around £25 million himself. I think he's set to join Manchester United in a deal worth around £22 million. But I do believe he would be a great addition to the squad. Like I said, I think we've got to get the right players that have got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. And I think, Thomas Meunier, would be the right solution. But yeah, I think, PSG got him from Club Brugge, back in 2016. I think they paid around, was it, £5 million for him, of course. So yeah, that's very, very good news indeed. But I didn't know he was a Man United fan, but he just said in the media that it's got revealed that he has been a United fan, since current childhood. But Meunier is going to be a great replacement for Antonio Valencia, because obviously Antonio Valencia has obviously been a long-serving player for the club. He served 10 years at Manchester United. Obviously, he's leaving. It remains uncertain where his next destination is going to be, but we do know he's leaving. So Meunier is going to be a good replacement for Valencia, and Meunier's still got quite a bit of a development in him. He's going to be a good upgrade also to Ashley Young. Obviously Ashley Young's been a long-serving player at the club. He's been at Manchester United 8 years. Of course, it was a bad mistake from Manchester United giving him that new 1 year extension. Talking about Dalot, I think he's going to be also a fantastic cover up for Diego Dalot, because Diego Dalot did demonstrate very, very, very well, in last season did Diego Dalot, that he can play well, but Diego Dalot is the upcoming future, and yes, this is why I said we need a cover up for him, and I think Thomas Meunier, is going to be the right solution. So that's very, very good news indeed. As I've been updating you as well about Matthias de Ligt from Ajax. Now he's moved to Manchester United. He's also looking very, very imminent, of course. And I really, really like Matthias de Ligt, as you all know. We do know he's been widely spoken about throughout the course of this window. The latest news to give you an update on that, I think it did basically say that Matthias de Ligt is set to make a decision on his future in the next coming days. He's set to notify Manchester United where his future lies, of course. I think it does say now Manchester United are in the ascendancy to get a deal over the line for Matthias de Ligt. But like I said, he will fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy because he's only 19 years of age. Got a hell of a lot of development in him. Of course, we do know a lot of teams have inquired about his services. Liverpool have been in there, Manchester City have been in there, because City are looking for a replacement for Vincent Kompany in their back line. Obviously, PSG, Bayern Munich have also been in there. But we do know, at least in the last couple of months, that Barcelona, of course, have been in the ascendancy, to get a deal over the line, for Matthias de Ligt. It only came out from Sky Sports, was it, the other week, saying that he's set to join Barcelona. It came out from Matthias de Ligt's perspective. He made his own admission, saying that his actual preferred destination, of course, is Barcelona. As you all know, Barcelona have already got a deal over the line for his current teammate, Frankie de Jong. Obviously, Barcelona agreed an initial £65 million. Well, they agreed the initial £65 million fee with Ajax for Frankie de Jong. So now, I think obviously there's been a change of scenery, at least in the last week or so, because obviously Manchester United have come up with an improved contract offer, and it did say we're willing to offer Matthias de Ligt worth up to £350,000 a week. So we're willing to offer him a lucrative contract worth up to £350,000 a week. Obviously, this equates to almost £17 million a year. And if this was the process, this would make Matthias de Ligt one of the highest paid players at the club. Obviously, make him the highest paid teenager in world football as well. So I think he could be on his way to Manchester United. But it's looking very imminent that he's set to leave Ajax. But it still remains uncertain where he will be applying his trade next season. But I would say Manchester United now are in the ascendancy, because I think Barcelona now have actually opted out of the race because reportedly Barcelona are not willing to meet what de Ligt's demanding, what his agent Raiola is demanding. So basically Barcelona are reluctant to increase their offer, so they're not willing to meet the terms, of course. And obviously, Manchester United have basically made it clear we're willing to outbid any other club, to currently get a deal over the line for the young Dutch centre half. But like I said, he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculations, and I do believe there's a lot of credibility in these stories about Matthias de Ligt. Obviously, it came out, was it early on this week or was it last week? Gerard Romero, who's a very reliable Spanish journalist, he said Manchester United are very close to signing Matthias de Ligt. So in terms of the transfer fees, it's going to cost you from between 65 or 70 million pounds. It did initially say Man United put a bid in for him of around 70 million pounds, of course, and that's quite a bit of money, for a young 19-year-old, of course. But he has become an integral part of Ajax's squad, and he has done really, really well. But like I said, yeah, so he could be on his way to Manchester United, could Matthias de Ligt, which is very, very good news. I think it also did say that he came out with 2 transfer demands, was it about 3 or 4 days ago, which also could play a part in him making a move to Old Trafford. His 2 transfer demands was obviously, demanding more money, and obviously, guaranteed first team football. And these are 2 demands Manchester United can meet, because we can definitely, guarantee him first team football. We can obviously, offer him, more money, what he's currently demanding. Obviously, these are 2 demands Barcelona wouldn't be able to meet, because Barcelona wouldn't be able to guarantee him first team football. Obviously, they're not willing to meet the terms and all that. So this could play a huge part of, de Ligt, coming to Manchester United. He also came out, did de Ligt, and admitted that he has got, several options on the table. This is what he also admitted. But I think he's very, very excited about his future, as he was saying. But, 19, very tall as well, which is very, very beneficial. So far I've spent the entirety of his career with Ajax, being an Ajax player, since the age of 9. And he's grown and developed, fantastically well. Made his senior debut at just the age of, 17, and he's had 3 years worth of experience in Ajax's senior squad. And I think he's gone to make 117 appearances. Ajax have had a really, really good season. Well, last season now, should I say, winning the domestic double. Obviously, Matthias de Ligt captained them to that for the first time in 17 years as well, winning the Eredivisie title, progressing to the Champions League semi-final. So I think now his move to Manchester United is looking very, very imminent indeed. But like I was saying, that central defensive Obviously, that central defensive area is one of the priority areas where, of course, where Manchester United do need to strengthen up. Because obviously, last summer we didn't get as number one priority targets. Obviously, we didn't spend out in January, but last summer we didn't get as number one priority targets because obviously, the board weren't back in the signings that Jose Mourinho, wanted to recommend to come in. So this is why we didn't get our number one targets last summer. But I do believe we need two central defenders, like I say. But I think Matty Easterley, would be fantastic for Manchester United. I think him coming to the Premier League is going to take his footballing career to the next level, and I think he will definitely exceed expectation levels at the club. Obviously, we can't offer him Champions League football, but I don't think that's the main factor. I don't think that's the main factor problem of Matt Easterley. That's not going to affect Matt Easterley coming to Manchester United. Of course, as long as we can guarantee him first team football and all that, and we're willing to meet what he's demanding and all that, I think we should get a deal over the line for him. So that is very very good news indeed. But yeah, he definitely exceed expectation levels in the Premier League. Obviously, other central defenders that have been on our agenda. Of course, there has been talks of Toby Alderweireld going on. Obviously, as that came out a couple of days ago about Alderweireld, I think we are set to make a decision on the Alderweireld transfer next week. So we're set to make a decision whether we're going to go in for Toby Alderweireld or not. I think from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's perspective, I don't think he's keen on Alderweireld, and I don't think it's in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans. He's recommending Toby Alderweireld to Manchester United. I think the board are keen on recommending him in, but looking at it from a financial point of view, he's a much cheap alternative. He's a very very cheap alternative, should I say, and he's obviously going to substantially cost you a lot less than the likes of Napoli's Koulibaly, Real Madrid's Rafael Varane, Leicester's Harry Maguire. Nowhere near as good on the same level, but looking at it from a financial point of view, he's a cheap alternative. He's available for £25 million this summer. He's Alderweireld, £25 million. That's his initial release cost, because obviously Tottenham activated a 12-month extension. Back in January, and included this 25 million release cost. Don't get me wrong, I still think he'd be a great upgrade in our defence with Alderweireld. He's well Premier League proven. He's had a number of years now under his belt in the Premier League as Alderweireld, and he can prove to be a world-class central defender, can Alderweireld. But I've got reservations about him now, because obviously he's aging up. He's 30 now. He has lost that yard of pace. But obviously, Manchester United have been linked with Alderweireld, since last summer. So I think we're set to make a decision on that next week. Obviously, as you all know as well, good news has come out about Bruno Fernandes. So obviously, according to the Ebola, the Portuguese press, they're basically being saying that we are now emerged as the front runners, to currently get a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes, because we do know Bruno Fernandes has been on our agenda, for quite some time. Obviously, it is Manchester United and Manchester City that are battling it out for Bruno Fernandes. But now, reportedly, it did say we hope to finalise a deal for Bruno Fernandes by the end of next week, and I think it's going to be a deal worth around £70 million, because I think we're willing to offer in the region of around £70 million for Bruno Fernandes. So basically, we're willing to offer more than Manchester City, because it did initially say City were willing to offer around, up to £50 million at the tops, but it did say City were willing to offer one or two of their players as part of the deal. But I really really like Bruno Fernandes. I think he'd be a great addition in our midfield if he was there to come in. He's only had 24 years of age, and definitely if him coming to the Premier League, it would take his career to the next level. He's got all the attributes, to come and succeed in the Premier League, because he's tied it up in Portugal, fantastically well. He's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons, and he has done really, really well. He can score goals, he can provide, and he definitely add depth in our midfield. But Bruno Fernandes, did come out with an admission, giving us an update about his future. Was it earlier on this week, or was it last week, if I can remember rightly? He basically said he's unsure about his future. He basically said he doesn't know where his future lies and all that. And he did say he's had a good couple of years with Sporting Lisbon. He said he doesn't know if he'll be remaining loyal to them and having a third season there with them. But he did basically say he doesn't know if he's going to be leaving, but he has refused to rule out a move to the Premier League as Bruno Fernandes. Well, his initial release cost is around £86 million, but obviously Manchester United and Manchester City are reluctant, to currently meet his release cost. So obviously we're not willing to trigger it. But he also, I think also Bruno Fernandes also denied having any negotiations with Manchester United over the potential move to Old Trafford. So now it's looking very, very imminent. He is going to be making the move to Manchester United. Very, very good indeed. And, comparing Man United and Man City, for a player of Bruno Fernandes' calibre, like I do keep saying, the more attractive option for him, would be Manchester City, because they're a competitive elite level football club. They're a dominant force in England now and all that, and they're winning trophies and stuff. But, looking at, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. with the best team in England, historically, because obviously, we've got the most success, and like I said, we're one of the biggest clubs in the world, of course. So, and obviously, we've got a good fan base, 75, 76,000 fans, each game at Old Trafford. So, I still think we're definitely, in for Bruno Fernandes, but it is looking imminent. He's coming to Manchester United, which is very, very good news. But it came out the other week, actually, or was it early on this week, saying that City were merged as the front runners couldn't get a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. But he actually is primarily an attacking midfielder. So if Paul Pogba was to leave, we would see Bruno Fernandes as the adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. Bruno Fernandes had a lot of experience of playing in Italy, when he was younger, the likes of Sampan and underneath, and he's 24 years of age, and he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. And as he updated you, a couple of days ago about Adrien Rabiot from PSG. Now, he could be also, on his way to Manchester United. The good thing about this, story about Adrien Rabiot is that the good thing about this story is that Manchester United wouldn't have to pay any transfer fee, for Adrien Rabiot, because obviously, he's coming to an end of his contract with PSG. So it did come out from the Spanish press. I think this was Mundo Deportivo, and I think it came out quite a few days ago, saying that we were in the ascendancy, to currently get a deal over the line for Adrien Rabiot. It also said Real Betis were interested in him. It also said Arsenal were interested, because maybe Unai Emery is keen on reuniting with Adrien Rabiot, because actually Adrien Rabiot flourished under Unai Emery's guidance when Unai Emery, of course, was PSG's manager. Adrien Rabiot now obviously has found himself surplus to requirements. Obviously, Adrien Rabiot hasn't played in the PSG squad since December last year, because obviously Thomas Tuchel had withdrawn, Adrien Rabiot from the PSG squad last year, based on his refusal to sign a new contract. So obviously it's looking very likely that Adrien Rabiot is going to be leaving PSG. He's still young, he's 24 years of age, so he has still got a lot of development in him. He's a central midfielder, is Adrien Rabiot. But reportedly does say now we are in the ascendancy, because it reportedly said we are willing to meet his salary demands. I think there's also a signing on fee of around 10 million included. So it did say we've offered him a lucrative contract. He said it could be a contract worth in the region of up to £170,000 a week, and obviously this signing on fee of around £10 million. I think it was saying before he was supposed to be making the move to Barcelona was Adrien Rabiot, but obviously I think Barcelona obviously were focused on getting Frankie de Jong instead from Ajax. Obviously Barcelona had obviously opted him out of the race for Adrien Rabiot, but Adrien Rabiot has spent the majority of his career with PSG. Obviously he served 8 years with Paris Saint-Germain, so he has been a long-serving player there. I think he's won about 18 major honours, including 5 League One titles and that. I think he did have a spell, with Manchester City, when he was a lot younger, so he's had experience of playing in Manchester. So according to what the media said about 2 or 3 days ago, Manchester United are in the ascendancy of currently, getting Adrien Rabiot. And we do know Philippe Coutinho, the rumours have started, about him again, Coutinho, because I think it's looking very imminent, he's going to be leaving Barcelona this summer, is Philippe Coutinho, because obviously, his surplus to requirements with Barcelona. Now, it did say Manchester United are interested in him. It also says that Chelsea are interested in Philippe Coutinho. I think Chelsea have actually identified Philippe Coutinho as their number one, to replace Eden Hazard at Chelsea, but I don't know if Chelsea will be able to get him, because obviously they've got a transfer ban. They can't do any transfer activity in the next couple of windows, of course. Well, unless the transfer ban, does get overturned or somehow it does get reduced. But Chelsea reportedly showed their interest in Philippe Coutinho. But like I said, I wouldn't want Philippe Coutinho at Manchester United anywhere, because obviously he's a former Liverpool player and all that, and he has been so inconsistent for Barcelona. And obviously he's been at Barcelona about 16 months as Philippe Coutinho. And let's be honest, he hasn't replicated the form that he did at Liverpool, because he did, to be fair, have 5 great years with Liverpool, but he hasn't replicated this at Barcelona. Obviously, Barcelona paid £142 million for him in January of 2018. So basically, Philippe Coutinho is the 3rd most expensive player in world football, behind Neymar and Mbappe, of course. But like I said, I wouldn't want Philippe Coutinho at Manchester United. I think Philippe Coutinho is actually considering leaving Barcelona, as he was saying. I think he wants a change of scenery. I think he wants to rejuvenate his career, because Coutinho, has still got a hell of a lot of development in him. You know, he's only 26 years of age. I think he's nearly 27 now, of course, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. I think he's mainly an attacking midfielder, also can play as a winner. I think since he's gone to Barcelona, he has been mainly playing as a winger, you know, alongside the likes of, you know, Messi and Luis Suarez, so he's been playing alongside them as Philippe Coutinho, but he has been so inconsistent for Barcelona. But it does say Man United and Chelsea are in there for him. I think it also says that PSG are in there for him, but I wouldn't want Philippe Coutinho at Manchester United, even though it says Manchester United have made contact with Barcelona. Obviously, you know, he's in negotiations with Coutinho's representatives, you know, back in January over a potential move, you know, for Coutinho, but I wouldn't want him at Manchester United. So there has been talks about him going on. As he updated you, was it the other day as well, about Nicolas Pepe from Lille. He's also another player I would like at Manchester United. This was according to Duncan Castles, who was a journalist. He said Manchester United and Liverpool are interested in Nicolas Pepe, and he also said Man United and Liverpool are in talks to sign Nicolas Pepe. Now, obviously, as it came out a couple of weeks ago, coming from the Lille chairman, you know, he said Nicolas Pepe is going to be leaving, you know, Lille, of course, but it obviously remains uncertain where he will be applying his trade next season. But like I said, he's the obvious candidate for the right win for Manchester United, because obviously Nicolas Pepe is primarily a winner. He's only 24 years of age, is Nicolas Pepe, 24 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. You know, so far has spent the entirety of his career in France. Obviously, he's been at Lille a couple of seasons. I think Lille got him for Mangas, you know, back in 2017, and I think he's got a contract with Lille until 2022, but can score goals, can provide, has got immense talent, and I think if he came to the Premier League, it would be the next step for him, and it would take his career to the next level, and he'd definitely succeed in the Premier League, you know, with Nicolas Pepe. I think the quoted fee is around £70 million, you know, that Lille. I think the quoted fee is around £70 million that Lille would want if they were willing to let him go. So probably, you know, Manchester United and Liverpool have got to pay up to £70 million for Nicolas Pepe. So yeah, definitely, you know, Manchester United are in there for him. But yeah, he's been very, very good for Lille. I think did he score 22 goals and got 11 assists last season? So yeah, he's got a lot of goals in him as Nicolas Pepe. But as I've been updating you as well on a regular basis about Romelu Lukaku, now he has been looking very imminent. You know, he's set to leave Manchester United because he's been heavily linked with a move to Inter Milan. And I think Lukaku is destined to make the move to Italy, because obviously he was negotiating a while back about his dream of playing in the Serie A. But like I said, based on the huge transfer fee, it's a similar sort of situation with Paul Pogba. You know, based on the transfer fee, his move to Inter Milan, you know, could be the transfer fee could be the stumbling block if, you know, Lukaku were making his move to Inter Milan, because recent reports did say a couple of days ago saying that the quoted fee now is around £80 million that we do want if we are willing to let Lukaku join Inter Milan. But I think this is a figure that Inter Milan are going to be reluctant, you know, to come meet. Obviously now they've got Conte as their new manager. Conte has identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. But yeah, I think Manchester United anyway want to sanction Romelu Lukaku off, because obviously, you know, he's one of the problematic players. But he did initially say the other week that Lukaku had been in Italy. You know, he'd had negotiations with Inter Milan's representatives, obviously, you know, over getting a deal over the line. And he did say a deal had been agreed. And he also said Inter Milan had agreed the personal terms and all that. He said Inter Milan had agreed a 5-year deal with Lukaku, worth up to around 36.5 million. Oh, well, should I say 37.5 million across 5 years. And I think around 7.5 million per year. But obviously, you know, they haven't come to an agreement on the initial transfer fee. So basically, we're saying we want £80 million. So we're basically looking to recoup the majority of the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago. Because obviously, we got him for £75 million from Everton, plus several add-ons, including the deal of around £15 million. So like I said, it had initially risen to £90 million. He has still got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United. I think he's on about £250,000 a week. But I think Manchester United told him, you know, that he can definitely, you know, leave the club. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has told Lukaku that he's surplus to requirements. And obviously, you know, we want to get rid of him because he's going to struggle, you know, for first team football next season is Lukaku, because we know mainly that Rashford is first choice ahead of him. But I don't think Inter Milan are going to be willing to pay £80 million. So maybe, you know, Inter Milan may have to offload one of their players. to get Lukaku on the board. Like I said, they were willing. He did say Inter Milan were willing to offer £30 million, plus Ivan Perisic as part of the deal. But obviously, we're not going to go along with that because obviously we know Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. Obviously, it was a long-term target under Jose Mourinho, but obviously he's no longer a Manchester United target. So obviously we're not willing to go along with that. I think it did say if we were willing to let Lukaku go as part of any swap deal, we were demanding Inter Milan's Milan Skriniar. Inter Milan's Milan Skriniar as part of of the deal and all that. Obviously, Milan Skriniar has been a long-term target for Manchester United. Obviously, he's very young. He's 24. Recently signed a new contract with Inter Milan, so he's under contract with Inter Milan until 2023. He's Milan Skriniar. So I think we'd go along with that. Whether Inter Milan would go along with that, I do not know. Obviously, Icardi has been spoken about, and I like Mario Icardi, but I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen on Mario Icardi. So Lukaku's pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League. His ratio is very, very good because he has scored a hell of a lot of goals. And in his first season with Manchester United, he was very, very consistent in his first season, but he just didn't replicate that in his second season, Lukaku. So reservations about him. He's a big game bottler. His first touch concerns me. His link-up play, his footballing ability, it all concerns me. So we've got to, somehow, try and get rid of Romelu Lukaku. But we're demanding £80 million because maybe we think he's worth £80 million because it's not like he's like in his 30s or out. He's still 26. He's in his prime. He's still got a lot of development in him. So yeah, he has been heavily linked to a move to Italy, of course. I think Lukaku's agent at Madrid revealed a while back that his future is very, very open. But yeah, somehow we can possibly get rid of him, but there's still a possibility now he could remain at the club unless Man United are willing to give him a huge payoff to get rid of him. I do not know, but more things will update about that. Like I've been saying with Sanchez, he's probably looking likely, he will be going to Italy as well. Well, according to what reports were circulating a couple of weeks ago saying that Sanchez's agent had been in Italy. He did say Juventus and Inter Milan had expressed their interest, and he did say, but Juventus and Inter Milan were in negotiations with Sanchez's agent. Like I said, we can't get rid of Sanchez permanently, based on his substantial wages. Obviously, he's on £400,000 a week, potentially rising up to $500,000 a week, based on image rights and bonuses and all that. He rises up to around £500,000 a week, and like I said, his wages I think his wages are having a really, really bad effect on the football club, and it's having a bad effect on our current wage structure. But Sanchez has no future at the club. He is age now 30. He has lost that yard of pace, of course. So yeah, we've got to get rid of him because he's one of the problematic players. He's been here 16 months, and he hasn't been the fundamental player, and he hasn't exceeded expectation levels as we all thought he would have done. Because he did have 4 good years with Arsenal. When he was younger, he played under Pep Guardiola at Barcelona. He did also have 3 good years with Barcelona, but he obviously hasn't replicated this at Manchester United, Sanchez, and he has become injury prone since he's come to United. I think he's sustained about 4 injuries, of course. We know initially he isn't first choice anyway. We know mainly Martial's first choice ahead of him on that left hand side. Sanchez can play numerous positions, but when we've mainly played him, we have put him on that left. I think the majority of his goals when he was at Arsenal came up front, of course, but we have definitely got to get rid of him. Like I said, Darmian and Rojo should be going. I think we could get an estimated guess. I think we could get around 25 or 30 million pounds, for Matteo Darmian and Marcus Rojo again. So I think they should be going, which is very, very good news. Like I said, with Smalling and Jones, it was a bad mistake at us, giving them new long-term contracts. Obviously, we give them new long-term contracts, didn't we? And it was a bad mistake. There've been 2 long-serving players at the club. Smalling's been here 9 years, Jones been here 8 years, and like I said before, they shouldn't be at Manchester United next season, but obviously, they're going to be at Manchester United next season. Like I said, I think we also need a centre defensive midfielder because obviously, McTominay is too inexperienced at the moment. Even though he did, prove himself towards the back end of last season, he did really, really well, and he was playing between the lines. But he's too inexperienced at the moment. Matic is too inconsistent, and of course, Fellaini left back in January. So I do believe we need a centre defensive midfield, and there has been quite a few of them on Manchester United's agenda, as you all know. But obviously, other tags have been giving you an update on as well. Is obviously, Joe Felix from Benfica. Obviously, Manchester United and Manchester City are battling it out for Joe Felix. Yeah, so there's a lot of targets on Manchester United's agenda, but like I said, Solskjaer is looking to bring at least 5 new additions to the club, and like I said, we'll see what happens going on into next season. If everything goes wrong, I'll be critical of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I will want him out of Manchester United, of course. I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot because he was a great player for us for 11 years under Ferguson. He hasn't really got the experience of a manager, don't get me wrong, he hasn't got the experience of a manager, but you never know. Like I said, I think at least in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations, he's going to be fighting for the top 4. So, like I said, I think our expectations, going into next season probably will be to get in that top four, maybe win the Carabao Cup, maybe win the Europa League, of course, because I think we're at least a number of years off, from mounting any kind of title challenge up. But yeah, like I said, none of this squad's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. A lot of money has been invested into the club, over the years, since Alex Ferguson retired. About £700 million has been invested in. We've seen players come in, and of course, we've seen players go. And Solskjaer was saying towards the back end of the season, he has been discussing about our recruitment and all that. And so he wants to bring young players to the club. But are we going to be sensible with our recruitment this summer, or are we going to be mad with our recruitment? Because a lot of people have said we should be sensible with our recruitment because there's quite a few players on our agenda that are available for a reasonable figure. You obviously know the news about Daniel James. Obviously, he's going to be coming in as well. Man United have agreed an initial £15 million fee, with Swansea on this. I think there's add-ons included, so it does potentially rise it to around £20 million. Like I said, as Daniel James got the abilities and the minerals, to make it to the highest level. Obviously, he's never played to the highest level yet, but of course, he's only had 21 years of age. I think it would have been fully announced, it would have been fully finalised now if it went for his dad currently passing him away. But based on his dad passing away, it has obviously delayed the move a little bit. But it did literally say earlier on this week, it was set to be announced sometime this week, his transfer to Manchester United. Like I said, I've got reservations about him. He's not very good in the air. He's not really good at tracking back. But in terms of an attacking intent, he looks very impressive. He can cut out from that flank really, really well. He can also, score goals, can Daniel James, which is very, very essential, which he has demonstrated throughout the course of this season. With Swansea, played 30-odd. I think he's played about 30-odd games for Swansea this season. So yeah, there has been So it's looking like Daniel James is going to be coming in. He's only got a year left on his deal with Swansea, but can he exceed expectation levels in the Premier League? And that is the question. He is primarily a winner, and Man U will put him on that left, obviously, because he's supposed to be more effective from that left-hand side. So yeah, he's also coming in. So I think the four likely players now that are coming into Manchester United is obviously Thomas Meunier from PSG, Matthijs de Ligt from Ajax, Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon, and Daniel James from Swansea. So how much does that add up to? If Thomas Meunier is £22 million, if say Matthijs de Ligt is around £70 million, obviously that's £92 million there. Say Bruno Fernandes about £78 million. Let's add that up. Say that's about £152 million there. Is it £162 million? Just adding it up. And obviously, 15 million on Daniel James, or 20, should I say? That's about 100. That's just under £200 million there, I think, on four decent players. So that's very, very good. So anyway, guys, drop your comments below on the channel. We'll be back with more live videos very, very soon. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.